I remember the first time I ever heard my favorite band. I was 12 years old and I was sitting in the car listening to the radio with my dad, and he's flipping through the stations until he finally stops on a song in like the middle of the chorus. And I catch him out of the corner of my eye, he's kind of singing and nodding his head, and I remember going, who is this? You never heard of this? It's Foo Fighters. Don't wanna be a monkey red. I remember thinking, Foo Fighters? And of course, in my 12-year-old brain, first thing I think of are these kung fu ninjas wielding guitars. But as I listened, my perspective changed. This dude was screaming these lyrics, yet somehow it was melodic and catchy, but not overly pop. And it was rock, but with a harmonic blend that was equal parts outer space as it was punk. The drums hit hard, the guitars were loud and elaborate. It was a whole new world to me. And I had to hear more. My dad educated me. Yeah, you know Nirvana? The singer was the drummer for Nirvana. What? The drummer? Drummers can sing? Yeah, and he plays guitar too. I had to ask, what's his name? It's, Steve Grohl? No, Dave Grohl. And that was the day I discovered my first musical hero. To this day, the Foo Fighters are my favorite band. I've listened to every album countless times, binged all of their music videos, which are absolutely hilarious, by the way. I got my whole family to listen to them religiously. I've watched all of their live shows be found on the internet and have since then seen the Foo Fighters 3 times in concert. And it didn't stop there. Even the side projects the members of the band were involved in, like Chris Shiflett's country record, or Taylor Hawkins' EP, or the supergroup Them Crooked Vultures, and of course, who the fuck doesn't love Tenacious D? But most importantly, it was Dave and the Foo Fighters who are held completely responsible for leading me to start my own band with my friends when I was 13. The band was called Modern Day Hero, and it was the experience of playing in that band that gave me the greatest gift a confused teenager could ever hope for. A purpose. One that I still have to this day. But Dave didn't just stop at playing in 2 legendary rock bands. He made movies too. And if listening to the entire Foo Fighters discography and all of the side projects wasn't what fundamentally changed my life forever, then it was watching those films that would absolutely lead me to who I am today. Back and Forth was a documentary of the Foo Fighters' career up until the creation of their 7th studio album, Wasting Life. And that was what inspired me and my friends to write our own music together. Sound City was a documentary about the legendary recording studio, and that was what inspired me to learn the craft of making records. Sonic Highways was a TV series chronicling the creation of the band's 8th studio album featuring studios all across America, and that was what played a huge role in my decision to move to Nashville. And it was there where I studied, and eventually got hired at a recording studio called Ocean Way, but that's not what this video is about. See, a year ago in the summer of 2018, Dave released another film. This one focused around a 20-minute instrumental in which he played all the instruments. The film was called Play, and the takeaway was nothing short of just that.
At the end of the day, just like any kid, the reward is just to play.
So if Sound City was what made me drop the guitar and pick up record producing, then it was Play that got me to go back and kind of do the exact opposite. At 13, I looked up to Dave because he showed me that if I put in the work, I could make whatever I wanted, however I imagined it. Now, at 23, I'm living in Nashville, working in a recording studio, and after years of being holed up behind my computer in college, my undying love for making music has reclaimed its place at the forefront of my heart. But that doesn't mean I'm done with my newfound trade of making records. In fact, quite the opposite. See, Dave made the first Foo Fighters record in an attempt to reignite his passion for playing music after Nirvana. He called up a friend and tracked the whole thing in a studio in Washington. He played all the instruments himself and gave away the cassettes to his friends. It was 1995, and from that attempt, Foo Fighters was born. And that same year, so I decided to make a tribute to that. Equipped with my young love of playing instruments and my new love of making records, I've set out to reclaim that passion. As someone who has drifted a bit from that creative spark by the chaos of life, this is my attempt at bringing it back, an ode to a song that has always held a place in this heart of mine. When I first experienced the freedom that came from jamming in the garage with my friends, it was this song that we played. When I first experienced the overwhelming thrill of playing on a stage, it was this song I sang. And today it is still this song that reminds me time and time again of the endless joy of just making music.
I fell.